What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Bike Hacks. Today we are going to answer the question, is it brutal or is it worth it? What is it like riding a superbike in traffic? We're going to talk about all the good things, the bad things, the ugly things that happen when you're sitting on a crotch rocket in bumper-to-bumper traffic. If you're new here, welcome to the family. I hope you guys enjoy the video today. If you do, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe so you won't miss out on any future episodes. So let's get straight into the topic at hand. Shall we? I'm not going to waste any more time. If you clicked on this video because you want to see if it's worth getting a sport bike to commute on, or you already have a sport bike and you wondering if you should continue commuting on it, I think this video will help you decide. Personally, I've been stuck in Southern California traffic for the past 24 years, so I feel like I have a pretty good gauge of what's going on. Now, just because I grew up around here, it does not mean I am some kind of expert on traffic, but I have had to endure it long enough to understand the pains of riding a motorcycle in traffic and whether it is actually worth it. So the first thing I want to ask is, why would anyone in their right mind choose to ride a superbike or a sport bike in traffic? Now, obviously, there's no right or wrong answer to this question, and there's probably a million reasons why someone would want to do something like this. But if I were to guess, most people would say it's because they enjoy riding motorcycles and they want to get the most enjoyment out of their ride to work or ride home from work. Other people might live in an area where cars are just terrible drivers and they feel safer on a motorcycle. And lastly, there are some people who simply can't afford a car, or maybe they have a car and they need to get to work somehow, so they're going to ride their motorcycle. But let's say you're one of those people who has a car but chooses to ride their sport bike every day to work. Why would you choose to do that? Are you trying to save gas money? Are you trying to avoid paying for parking? Or are you just sick of sitting in traffic in your car and decided to switch to your motorcycle? Whatever the reason may be, I think it is safe to say everyone wants to get to their destination without having to deal with as much stress as possible. Now, obviously, every situation is different. Some people live 5 minutes away from their work, while others may have a 40-minute commute each way. The type of riding you'll be doing will also change based on where you live. For example, you may live in an area that's mostly highway, or you may live in an area that has a lot of surface streets and stoplights. Your daily commute may take you through both. For me personally, my commute consists of surface streets and stoplights, but it takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to get to work, and then about the same amount of time to get back home. Now, I'm telling you right now, sitting on a sport bike in traffic can be a pain in the butt sometimes. Believe it or not, sitting on these bikes in traffic sucks, even more than being on a standard street bike like a naked bike or a middleweight bike. This is because sport bikes were designed to be ridden aggressively, not to be sitting still. The ergos on a sport bike are such that if you're not moving, you're and believe me, when I say uncomfortable, I mean extremely uncomfortable. And not only that, but it gets even worse when you start coming across those pesky stop and roll situations where you're re-rolling, stopping, and rolling again. When you start doing that, that's when things get really uncomfortable on a sport bike. Also, depending on how hot it is outside, it can either be very tolerable or complete hell. It does make things a little easier when you have things like a heated jacket or heated grips. But if you don't have those accessories, man, it makes it a whole lot harder. I don't know about you guys, but I sweat a lot when I'm riding a motorcycle, especially when I'm sitting still. So when I'm riding in traffic, I'm sweating a lot. And the hotter it is outside, the more I sweat. And that's not only uncomfortable, but it can be dangerous. I've had instances where I was so hot and sweaty that my vision started to blur. And the last thing you want to happen when you're riding a motorcycle is to have your vision start to blur because you're overheating. And speaking of overheating, your bike can also overheat when you're sitting in traffic. That's why it's a good idea to keep an eye on your temperature gauge. If you see the temperature getting high, just pull over, take a break and cool off. It's better to be safe than sorry. Another thing you have to worry about when you're sitting in traffic on a sport bike is your clutch. Sitting on your clutch for extended periods of time isn't the best thing for it. I don't know exactly how long you can sit on your clutch before it wears out, but I'm guessing it's not going to be that long. Just listen to your bike. If you hear it start to make a funny noise or smell something burning, it's probably time to pull over and take a break. One of the worst things about sitting in traffic on a sport bike, in my opinion, is the constant wave of heat washing over you as cars pass by. You see, when cars drive past you, the wind from the car passing by will literally push the hot air from the engine of the car directly towards you, and you're sitting there on a sport bike with very little wind protection, so it can get pretty toasty. It's almost like being in a microwave, except the microwave only lasts for a few seconds. This can last for a few minutes. Lastly, you have to be able to deal with the stares and the comments from other drivers. Not everyone is going to understand why you're riding a superbike in traffic, and even if they do, they're still going to think you're crazy. And you know what? They're probably right. No one is going to understand why you'd want to put yourself through the stress of riding a sport bike in traffic. And it's definitely not for the faint of heart. However, I think the biggest thing that helps you get through riding in traffic on a sport bike is realizing that it is only temporary. It's not going to last forever. Eventually, you're going to get to your destination and get off the bike, and hopefully you're going to get there alive. Now, I know I've been complaining about how bad it is to ride a superbike in traffic. But the truth is, it's not all that bad. Sure, it's uncomfortable, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, I kind of enjoy it in a weird sort of way. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I love the feeling of being stuck in traffic on a sport bike. There's something about it that just makes me feel alive. Maybe it's the fact that I'm sweating and uncomfortable, or maybe it's the fact that I know I am not supposed to be on this bike sitting still. Whatever it is, I love it. So, is it worth it to ride a superbike in traffic? I would say yes, but only if you enjoy it. If you hate it, then don't do it. There's no point in torturing yourself just to save a few minutes on your commute. However, if you love the feeling of riding in traffic, then go for it. Just be prepared to be uncomfortable. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't enjoy it, hit that thumbs down button. Either way, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, if you haven't checked our channel yet, go ahead and click the link in the description below. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time.